you got a sore and painful shoulder that is really limiting your lifestyle? Are you aware that that painful shoulder could actually enter into a condition called frozen shoulder? Hi there, it's Neesha from Expert Physio. In today's video, I'm jumping in to talk about the 3 phases of frozen shoulders. And the reason why we're jumping in to talk about this is because here at Expert Physio, we've seen lots of patients come in recently with shoulder pain. The one common mistake they do is they wait so long to the point that their arm is so painful and they're struggling to move it before they see someone because they've been hoping it'll resolve itself. Now, those patients are actually very often at that verge of getting into a frozen shoulder. So I thought I would jump in and talk to you about the 3 stages for a frozen shoulder and what you can do about it and when is really a good time to get on top of it. So the first phase is the freezing phase. Now, a lot of people out there are actually in that freezing phase where they get a lot of pain in their shoulder. They'll commonly complain that the pain's around the front of their shoulder and around the back on your shoulder blade. And it often is really painful to lie on. So they're not getting sleep because it's really painful. And if they try to lift their arm up, it's really painful. Some people get to that point where they feel they have to just use their arm to help them move it, but they can still move it with some help. Now, if you actually have a look and feel, you'll probably realize this arm is quite swollen as well. Down that one upper arm would be quite swollen. Now, the unfortunate thing is if you've got 2 sore shoulders, both upper arm might look actually very big and swollen, and you wouldn't know because you think, oh, I've just got flappy arms. Reality is there's a lot of swelling that's been sitting around in your shoulder and it's tracking down to about middle of your arm, and that's where you'll find it very sore right across that band. Now, that's the freezing stage where physiotherapy can make a big difference. If you're in that phase and it's really painful, you need to see someone immediately. Because if you leave it for any longer, you'll enter that frozen phase, which is the second phase. In the frozen phase, literally, you cannot move your arm anymore. It will not move. Even if you try to take your other arm to help it, it will not move. And you'll struggle because you can't get your arm up to the top of your head. You won't be able to put clothes on because the arm is just frozen. Now, often the pain is not as bad. It seems to settle. If anything, though, people still do complain of night pain. So they do still struggle to lie on it. But generally, it's not as acutely painful simply because you cannot move it anymore. Now, the frozen phase actually lasts us anywhere between 2 to 3 years. And in the frozen phase, studies have shown there's no treatment that will make a difference. There's literally nothing that can be done once your shoulder is frozen up. So if you're in that point, unfortunately, there's really not much that can be done. You have to wait it out. And if you're lucky, it might be 18 months. If not, it's 2 to 3 years. And that's a really long time. Now, the third phase is the thawing phase. So the frozen shoulder just thaws out in that it gradually starts to gain movement. And they don't actually understand why it happens, but it does, where it'll just resolve itself and eventually you'll start to find you can move it. And this is where physiotherapy can help you again regain all that movement in your shoulder. So if you're out there and you are in phase 1 or phase 3, the freezing and the thawing phase, you certainly need to get help immediately, especially in the freezing phase. Now, if you're out there in the frozen phase, unfortunately, there's not much that can be done. The aim of physiotherapy is really to try and stop you from entering that frozen phase. So if you're out there and you're putting up with shoulder pain, don't put up with it for one more day. Why don't you ring us here at Expert Physio, speak to one of our expert physiotherapists. The number to ring is 02-9790-4233. And if you know somebody out there in your role who's been putting up with a sore shoulder, why don't you like and share this video with them? Until next time, have a fantastic day. Bye.